Listen and practice. Flaming events. Born with yellow curly hair and blue eyes, the little girl grew up and everyone made a good impression on her as they all agreed that she was super beautiful. One day her mother's friend came to them and said as soon as she saw her with bright eyes, "What a beautiful and unique doll with her curly yellow hair and wide blue eyes." But her mother immediately replied to her in front of her little daughter, "Doll? But she is just like her father. How can a child with masculine qualities be a beautiful and unique doll? My daughter is unlucky because she didn't look like me." Everyone saw the girl as beautiful and attractive except her mother. Her mother's hair was very straight and black. The mother was so annoyed by her little daughter's curly hair that always tired her a lot while styling it. Her mother was even upset about everything related to her so much that she spent all hours of her day watching TV or talking to her friends on the phone, and her only child did not pay any attention. But the child was finding from her wide imagination a way out of her mother's actions. She was finding her friends out of nowhere. And the child, despite her young age, praised God that her father did not resemble her mother in anything at all. Her father was among the wealthy in the city. He owned a huge pasta factory, and the child was always convinced that he was wonderful and considered him her ideal. Her father loved her very much. Every day when he returned from work, the child would immediately run and throw herself into his arms, and her father would always buy her the kind of chocolates she liked. Her mother has always found a suitable way to destroy the happy moments between father and daughter. Her mother is tired of her husband's actions with their daughter, forbidding her to eat sweets and chocolate for fear of becoming fat or losing her teeth, and talking in a very provocative way. On the other hand, her mother's girlfriend had a daughter whom she was very jealous of. So their story began with one word from the child's beautiful mother when she praised her friend's child as being so beautiful, and that she wished to have a beautiful child like her. The two girls grew up and went through all stages of education together, and the beautiful child always suffered from the jealousy of the other child by making up strange and suspicious things at times, and they became in high school. Although the beautiful girl chose the scientific section, and the other the literary section, but they participated in the artistic field. Our beautiful girl loved the theater, but during the audition she was nervous, so she could not perform the role well, and it was about Princess Yara, which forced the judges to choose the jealous girl to perform her role brilliantly, quite unlike our girl. But she also did not leave the theatrical work, but was chosen for a role no less important than that of Princess Yara in the play The King. One day, the beautiful girl felt tired and sleepy, so she bent down and fell into a deep sleep without knowing, and no one paid attention to her. And when she woke up she found all the doors had closed and her phone battery had been discharged, and she only dressed Princess Yara and performed the play as perfectly as possible alone. And once she finished, she was surprised that someone applauded her warmly for what she did. He approached her. He was a classmate. He filmed everything she presented. He liked what she did and asked her, "You must be Princess Yara." He knew her name and knew her. She was the most beautiful girl in the whole school. And despite her wealth and beauty, she was very modest and did not suffer anything but the treatment of the daughter of her mother's jealous friend. who always made her mother angry with her. The young man was the same age, and in the same class as her, but his father was a school cleaner, and his son helped him with his work after completing his studies. He had all the keys to the doors, so he took the girl's hand and took her out of school, and not only that, but also led her to the door of her house. At that time her parents did not leave a way and a means but used it to reach her. The first time her mother saw her daughter, she slapped her palm on her face. The girl was shocked by this treatment in front of her colleague. She ran to her father's lap crying warmly and apologizing to him, and telling him about the reason for her delay and that she was detained inside the school unintentionally, and that this young man is her classmate at school, and he was the one who was able to help her, but her mother is not convinced by her daughter's words. The girl tried to explain the misunderstanding to her mother, but her mother shouted at her, "Do you have a boyfriend?" "Mom, he's a friend and he helped me as the son of a school cleaner," the girl said. Her mother was stunned, her eyes widened, and she said, "Do you like the son of a cleaner? I always knew you were stupid and all your choices were as stupid as you. I don't want to see you with him again." Girl, what are you going to do, Mom? What is the difference between me and the son of a cleaner? He is a human being no different from me or you. Her mother looked at her husband and blamed him. Look at the mistake she made in raising her. You spoiled her and spoiled her morals. I loved her, raised her well, polite her well, her father said. At night, while going to sleep, the girl found herself thinking about the young man. She smiled a slight smile and went to sleep, and the next morning her soul longed to meet him. So she searched for him in the whole school, but she did not find him. So she decided to go to the theater, and there she actually found him playing the most beautiful melodies on the piano. The girl sat next to him listening to what he was playing. He surprised her with his sweet singing voice and the lyrics of the song itself, through which the girl concluded that he knew her for sure and for a long time. And at that time the jealous girl was there and filmed the girl and the young man together, and the jealous girl threatened that she would publish the pictures on all social media sites to expose them everywhere. The girl shouted at her, "Do what you want. I don't care at all what people think." And this jealous girl did not hesitate to post the photos on all social media sites, and never forgot to send these photos also to the beautiful girl's mother. As soon as the girl returned home, she found her mother waiting for her, and as soon as she saw her she shouted at her, "You better stop seeing this young man or I will leave you and your father and go somewhere else." The girl said, "I think it would be better if you did. I think it would be all comfort for us. Not as if you were making us happy." The girl's father was stunned by the way she talked to her mother, telling her, "It's not at all good to talk to your mother like that." The girl looked at her father with tears in her beautiful eyes, saying, "But Dad, all my life, she was not satisfied with anything I do, and she was not satisfied even with the form that God gave me." Her mother was completely angry with her, so she left her with her father and went out. Her father stayed with her to talk to her a little. Her father: "You have to promise me that you will stay away from this young man permanently, my daughter." Girl: "Dad, he's just a good friend and there's nothing between us." Her father. But you have to stay away from him and never talk to him again. My father joined my mother's class for the first time, and that was the first request my father asked me to make, so I had to obey him and not disobey his order. The next day, the girl avoided meeting him at all, but on her way home she bumped into him. Young man. Wait. I know you're avoiding me. You don't want to talk to me or see me anywhere. The girl said, It's not like that. My parents forbade me from that. Young man. I understand that and I promise I won't cause you any more problems. The young man left and the girl saw in his eyes a deep sadness, but she remembered her father's words, and did not talk to him at the time. But after many days she noticed his absence from school, so she went to student affairs, and asked about him and learned that his father had left the job, and withdrew his son's papers from school. She was upset by that news until the day came when her classmates stopped her wanting to see something, and the young man had traveled outside the country for one of the singing competitions, and he won it and composed and sang a song for the beautiful girl declaring how much he loved her, and wished that she would be his life partner without any other girls in the world. Everyone in the school knew their love story, but the jealous girl played her usual role as the devil who loves to appear as an angel. So she informed the girl's mother of the song, and as soon as her mother started screaming at her, a call came to her informing her that her husband had been taken to the hospital where he had suffered a heart attack. She grabbed her daughter's hand and ran to the hospital, but the girl did not talk to her mother, blaming her because she was the cause of what happened to her father, who is the only breadwinner in this life. She did not eat anything, and the next day she went to school without eating or taking the money. At lunchtime at school, the daughter of her mother's friend provokes her anger again as usual, and this time she poured her food on the beautiful girl to insult her and mess with her. The girl's mother saw her, and shouted at her and went to the school principal, and filed her complaint to her. So she dismissed the jealous girl from school for a month as punishment for everything she did. The girl's father regained consciousness, and at this time her mother approached her, and saw a love that could be distributed to the world with what it contained, and she also took full responsibility for her husband's factory, where she worked with him before she became pregnant with her only daughter. The daughter liked to reward her mother for the beauty of what she does, so she prepared food for her and her father, and for the first time cooked food in her entire life. At her graduation ceremony from the university she had always dreamed of, the young man came to her from abroad and proposed to marry her after working hard to become one of the most famous celebrities in our world, and her parents agreed to this because he proved how sincere his love is for their only daughter.